Hello YouTube, this is Robot777 here, and today I'm going to do a top 5 unluckiest cartoon characters. In some cartoons there is just some really unlucky cartoon characters, like whether they're just hated by everyone like Meg or Zoidberg, or can't go anywhere without dying like Kenny, or just stuff like that. They are so unlucky. So, without further ado, let's count down top 5 unluckiest cartoon characters. And at number 5 is Gumball Waterson from The Amazing World of Gumball. This guy is unlucky because he cannot get a break from how much of a loser he is. He is bullied by a giant T-Rex. Yeah. He got beaten up by a spider. He got kicked out of his girlfriend's house. He has a pet evil turtle which is constantly biting him. He had a best friend hamster which actually turned out to be the principal's chest hair. Pretty much everybody hates this guy. He's constantly being chased through the halls at school, constantly being beaten up by everybody. He had his life replaced by a robot, and you guessed it, the robot did a better job at being lucky and everybody liking him than himself. And even his crush liked him better, actually loved him. that must really hurt. Not to mention that he has to put up with that his mum's always constantly shouting at him. His mum, Nicole Waterson, and he's just such a loser. And in the episode, The Helmet, he finally gets good luck, and then he gives it all away, believing that he doesn't need the luck, and then he finally gets snapped back into reality of how bad his life is. Constantly being beaten up and what else was that? Oh yeah, always being injured wherever you go and losing at everything. Literally, he loses at everything. He got into a fight with a robot and he got beaten up twice in like 2 different episodes. And even in one scene, I remember the photo? I think he gets into a fight with a balloon and the balloon beats him up and the balloon wasn't even trying. Man, that kid is such a loser. He's just so talentless, and it's pretty sad when you think about it. So let's move on to number 4. So this guy Gumball is unlucky because he's such a loser. So now let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is Kyle from one of my favourite films, Home. This guy's unlucky because, well, first of all, he's constantly having to put up with his enemy, O, who believes Kyle is his best friend. He's always like, I'm going to try to do an O impression here. Hello, best friend Kyle. Are you doing the traffic booth job? And Kyle's always like, oh my gosh, I'm not your best friend, man. It's really funny to watch. Just Kyle constantly trying to convince O he's not his friend, and O just thinks he's joking. I don't even know what O thinks, but he thoroughly believes he's his best friend. And O sends a postcard by accident to the Gorg, revealing their planet's personal details. And the Gorg wants to destroy the planet. I'm not going to say spoilers for those of you who have watched the film. He wants to destroy the planet, so Kyle has to go after him, Captain Smek's orders. And he just can't get O and Tip. He gets crushed by cans. He gets in an explosion. He hit by a car door. Hit by Captain Smek's shusha wand. What else happens? Oh yeah, I remember Nachos just squirting out at him. That was really comically over the top scene where he's like, Nachos! And they're all just squirting out at him. And then the cheese goes over him. And he gets hit by a car, and then he's finally just about to get Owen Tip, and he's like, finally, I've got you! And then, because they're riding around in bubbles, and he just goes, and the bubble pops. He falls from an unimaginable height, on top of a building. That's gotta hurt. Ooh, this guy can't do anything right. He's constantly you know, he's under the he's been sent these orders by, you know, like the king, president, whatever you want to call it, the captain, he's Smack, and he just can't do this, and he's repeatedly just getting battered and bruised. Yeah, so it's kind of sad for the poor guy, poor Kyle, having to put up with a guy you hate and constantly just being battered and bruised. So yeah, that's why he's unlucky. Let's move on to number 3. Squidward from SpongeBob SquarePants and SpongeBob SquarePants movie and Sponge Out of Water. Yeah, this guy's unlucky because he lives next door to SpongeBob SquarePants and Patrick, his enemies. He works at the job he hates most in the world, the Krusty Krab, you know, home of the Krabby Patty. And not to mention he cannot do anything without getting seriously injured, like let's see, I'm going to have to try and remember SpongeBob episodes now. He got crushed by a rock in, what was it again? The Krusty Krab Pizza episode. Almost eaten by a Yeti crab. Crushed by a bed in that horror movie one with the fisherman. What else happened to poor old Squidward? He fell off his bike and his bike exploded, I recall that episode. He was mauled by a sea bear, you know, there's no such thing as a sea bear, you know. Yeah, I remember that. He's constantly being picked on by his big nose. He just loves music and art, and he sucks at both. Yeah, and he's always like, why, I try, and I never get any better. And yeah, in a SpongeBob movie, I can't really recall anything bad happening to SpongeBob movie. Oh yeah, in Truth or Square, he got beaten up by Patrick because Patrick thought he was a villain. Even, you know, who are you working for? So yeah, that's poor old Squidward. This guy's like so depressed all the time. He's always like, oh, go away, SpongeBob and Patrick. I'm too very grumpy. I'm too busy being grumpy all the time. And yeah, when he was just about to sell his house to get away from SpongeBob and Patrick, he lied that it was opposite day. So SpongeBob and Patrick, they were like, hey, it's opposite day, we're going to be Squidward. And then they pretended to be Squidward, and the person who was going to buy the house just went mad at them. She was like, who's the real Squidward? And they were like, I am. I think that was the funniest scene in SpongeBob. Yeah. You're Squidward, I'm Squidward, he's Squidward. You know, and plus Squidward is constantly being bitten by SpongeBob's pet Gary. You know, that's gotta hurt. So, yeah, Squidward is unlucky because he can't go anywhere without being hurt. And he lives next door to SpongeBob and Patrick. So, yeah, let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is Joshua from Clarence. Oh, poor Joshua. You might recognise this guy from my Tiptoeing in my Jordans, Clarence Vine. Yeah, let's see. This guy, fell off a cliff. He got his ear bitten off by a goat, as you can see here. His girlfriend dumped him. His car broke down in the desert. He got vomited on by Percy. Clarence farted on him. Let's see what else happened here. Oh yeah, he got a fork jabbed in his eye. He fell off a train. He what else happened to him? What else happened? Oh yeah, he gets repeatedly beaten up by Sumo. He gets his hair ripped out. He didn't realise his girlfriend, or so-called girlfriend, hates him. So yeah, that's gotta hurt. And he goes, yeah, we're pretty serious now. And Clarence goes, oh yeah, I know your girlfriend. She always says you're lazy and our relationship is on the wax. His Clarence can't pronounce his R's. So yeah, poor old Joshua, and he just can't seem to escape Clarence either. And he's in there's this running gag where he always goes, because every episode he's in, he always loses something in the first episode it was my ear, and then it was my eye, and in the latest episode that he was in, he's seen overweight, and we can all presume why he's overweight, because he's started to realise his life's really bad. Yeah, poor old Joshua, and he just can't seem to escape Clarence. Clarence is he's just every time Clarence is around, he always gets hurt. So yep, Joshua is number 2. because he can't go anywhere without getting hurt, and emotionally or physically. And yeah, that's that. So, yep. And number one is. Before I unveil number one, I'd like to give an honourable mention. Lol, could get the suspense there. Is Plankton, because he's always trying to steal from Mr. Krabs, but he's so small he just can't do it. And not to mention that the Krusty Krab's right next to him, so he's constantly tormented by seeing all those customers go in there. That must be so unlucky. And my second honourable mention is Meg from Family Guy. The whole world just hates Meg. Or shut up, Meg. Yeah, that must be hurtful when your own dads and mum and every brother and dog and little brother is saying that. Yeah, that must be really hurtful. And another thing I forgot about Clarence Joshua is that everyone's constantly pronouncing his name Joshua when actually it's Josh. And he's got this running catchphrase where he goes, "It's Josh." Everyone pronounces his name wrong. So yeah, now it's time to unveil number one. So, Kenny from South Park. Oh, poor Kenny. This character dies. Like most characters are just unlucky, but this character literally dies in every single episode. Yeah, I'm gonna try and remember one now. Yeah, he was pecked to death by turkeys. I think he was decapitated in a rugby match. Spontaneously combusted from holding in a fart. And many other deaths. And not to mention he can't talk, so he can't cry out for help. It's all just and Kenny's family are just hillbillies. And every day Kenny wakes up just knowing he's gonna die. Yeah, that must be seriously a pain. And most of the time it's just everyday situations, just sitting in the cinema and something happens. He gets eaten by monsters, everything. Kenny's done it all, yeah. And, it's kind of you don't even notice it. It's oh, look, there's Kenny dying.